So Chainsaw Man chapter 102. Boy, was this a really entertaining chapter, really good. Our boy Denji has came back. He's made his return very quicker than I thought he would. I thought he'd come back maybe like around like 105 or something like that, and like it was kind of built up more. But man, this chapter has some fantastic arc though. Before I even get into like the character, like what I really want to talk about, like Asa and Denji, the art alone, like those spreads was on point, man. Like Fujimoto, he really steps it up. He's always one of those authors to me where his art had to grow on me, and the more I look at it, the more I really appreciate it, especially when it's in those spreads, because you can tell like with certain authors or certain mangakas that when they do those double pagers, their art really shines through that. And that was amazing, especially the part where he kind of shoves, or he's fighting the Bat Devil and he's about to crash into the building, and you just see this wide shot of the Bat Devil's like exoskeleton. Man, that was like so fire. Talk about Asa really quick and the War Devil Yoru. Man, by the way, Yoru's name, I don't know why that shit sounds cool to me, but Yoru tried to like make Asa turn Yuko into a weapon because Yuko got injured. And I was waiting for this to happen really quick, where she was going to be in a scenario where she, was actually somewhat thinking about turning someone someone she would call a friend into a weapon. I was wondering like how long would it take to get to that point. We already got here, and yeah, kind of this is literally what I thought the Yoru was going to try to do, and she's going to keep doing this. She's going to try to get inside of Asa's head, especially with these backstories, or these flashbacks, I should say, of like Asa's like inner turmoil of her kind of always taking the blame for things. She's always kind of like this bad omen. Like a whole bunch of just bad stuff happens when she tries to do something. Every time she tries to save somebody, or she's trying her best to do something bad just always happens. Like even when she was a kid and she's carrying the cake falls. I think in one of them she's like in a relay race or something, the one with the team, and she falls, and I'm pretty sure they lose. And then the big one was her mother's. They're running from the devil attack, and she stops and she tries to save the cat. And as a pet person, that is something like I would think about doing, but realistically I wouldn't do that. But she's a kid, she's like maybe like early teens in this. She tries to pick up the cat and save her, trips again, and basically costs her mother her life, because the mother, she sees Asa fall and she tried to get her up, and it ended up just pushing her out the way because they weren't going to make it in time as that car was coming at them. And so she pushed her out the way, she gets hit by it and she dies. And Asa, she's sad at this moment. And the fact that this whole chapter kind of just really was centered around a cat, or like a cat was used as like a metaphor for like how people think in this, especially with Denji, was really like innovative. I didn't think about it until like the second time I read it, how this cat ended up being like reinstalled into like the current time right now. To know with Fujimoto, he's gonna take this dynamic of Asa and Yoru, and he's really just gonna push it. He's gonna push it as far as he possibly can in the confines of the story. I just know he's gonna do something like that, and I'm just really looking forward to that eventual, I guess, turn or snap, and when Asa has to fight Denji. I'm really looking forward to how he kind of draws and writes and plays that out. But let's talk about Denji real quick. The return. He came in inadvertently saving Yuko and Asa by basically sawing or just completely going through the Bat Devil, and raw ass fight. That's literally all I can say about this. This is a raw Chainsaw Man fight. The violence is exactly what I wanted, and just some of them panels again, man, like the exoskeleton. I don't know how or why he likes that Bat Devil looks way cooler in that form. And then like the Bat Devil trying to follow up from an attack and throws Denji into the building, tries to get like a barrage of punches, ends up with his arm cut off. Like, this shit's fire, bro. This is literally fire. Fujimoto in his bag when it comes to drawing Denji and stuff. But this is by far the most like entertaining or just funny thing to me, because the Bat Devil tries to do like this wagering of the hero per se. Like this is a old school traditional way how villains will always do something, whether it was in like comics or any type of just facet of a story. He offers Denji, he's saying, okay, I have this young kid with a bright future in one hand, and 5 elderly people in this car and the other. Which will you save, Denji, the superhero? And he drops them both. And I already knew what Denji was about to do. He goes straight for the Bad Devil instead, awesome, and just pretty much finishes the job. Great double spread to end that fight right there. And literally, the young kid dies, and then the car filled with elderly people, the car is set on fire, and they're pretty much dead too. All of them dead. So about 6 people died, and Denji didn't really put in any effort trying to save them whatsoever. But the fact that there was a cat somewhere around there during this fight, he picks it up, and that's the only thing he's worried about, the fact that there was a cat. And I wonder if that was like a reference to Power, because Power had her cat and Denji killed a Bad Devil. I think it might have been like chapter 8 or something like that, chapter 10 or something. Killed the Bad Devil and saved both Power and her cat. I wonder if that was like a reference to that. So Denji is not a hero, nor does he ever try to be one or identify as one. He just basically does whatever he feels is, I guess, right in his mind, his head, and just goes about. He just does whatever he does, and it ends up being chaotic stuff throughout. Now, I'm wondering, like, are we going to see Naruto recently or coming up soon? Because that's what I'm really interested in with Denji. I want to see like what he's, how is he taking care of Naruto and all that. But we're probably not going to get into that for a while, especially like plot wise. I wonder like how much is Naruto going to say, like how much is Naruto going to like be important to this plot or something like that. But honestly, that's pretty much it for my thoughts. Raw fight, great return from Denji. I'm really happy that he came back so quick than I thought he was. Asa and Yoru is going to be a fire dynamic. Can't wait to see how much is going to go with that. And then Yuko might, I don't know exactly what Yuko's end game is per se, but I'm not really. She's probably going to play a just supportive role, if anything. And honestly, I can't wait to see when Yoshida comes into play too, when they start, having him involved in some of this stuff. It's a lot looking forward to it, and this chapter really just got me hyped on it. So let me know in the comment section down below how you feel about this chapter. Leave a like and subscribe if you enjoy the Chainsaw Man content that I'm putting on this channel. I will holler at y'all on the next one. Peace.